Okay, now I'm going to talk to you about doing online evaluation forms. So go to admin again, or if you're already there. You're going to follow this same process for cloning. Again, I've already done that. So I have done the self-appraisal as well as the SHRA and EHRA appraisal. I'm not sure why there's two. Oh, there are two because I forgot to put appraisal on here, so I'm going to delete that one. Delete. Same deal there in terms of just cloning it. You'll get a copy, name it whatever you want to name it, and then go in and edit. And I have already made edits to the timeline, but that's one thing that you'll want to edit whenever you get in there each year, because you'll need to reflect the correct dates, obviously. So ours are already set up for this year. A couple of things to know about the rating scale. People often get really confused, and I think I included this in the FAQs, about our rating scale. So you'll notice right here, it is not a regular, 1 to 1.5, 2 to 2.5. They have it round up at 1.7 and 2.7. Which makes it harder to get and exceeding expectations. That means that 70% of your goals on your performance plan have to be exceeding expectations or higher. And that's, again, a weighted average based on how much weight you give each goal. So there is no forced distribution, but the UNC system wants to make it harder for you to get and exceeding expectations. That is their rule, not mine necessarily, but I often get questions from people about that because they don't see numbers. Numbers are not calculated in anything that they will see on their side as a supervisor. But just know that, be aware of that. That's how that works. When you do reports, you're only going to see 1, 2, or 3 on your reports, and that's all you're going to submit to Office of State Human, or to General Administration, UNC system, whatever they're called. When you do goal forms, you have to keep in mind that you are going to need to pull in the goals and the comments and the weight from each goal in the performance plan. So you got your custom builder 3s, you're pulling in the review plan, the custom builder 3s field for the weight, the custom builder 3s field for the comments, and then you're adding evaluation builders for the rating and comments for the yearly rating. That's all. This is all in here for you. Again, the institutional goals document, that thing is so helpful. I wish people would just read the darn thing. I don't know why they don't, but they don't. So it's always good to point people to that because it has a really good breakdown of, especially on these institutional goals, what the various levels of performance actually look like. And I tell people, just copy and paste. Just go through and copy and paste the language and update it so it is more, specific for the person you're supervising. But you don't need to start from scratch. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. Just go with what's already there. Same deal here with your individual goals. It's going to need to pull from the plan, and then you're going to need to give it a rating field and comments. And we do have that weird rating thing set up. I will show you what that looks like when I do a program. Organizational values goal also gets a rating and it gets comments. And then career development plan, again, you're pulling in the plan objective, you're adding in a builder for comments. That one does not get a rating. Now, here's where it gets weird. Because our policy is very prescriptive and it has a couple of conditions that keep someone from being able to get the highest score, which intuitively makes sense because if someone has a disciplinary action or if they get a not meeting expectations rating on one of their goals, that means they're not probably at the top of their game, right? Depending on weights, you could have someone get exceeding expectations on everything except for one goal. And that could average out to an exceeding expectation score, but that's blocked per this policy. So in the UNC system policy, it says if you get one rating of not meeting expectations on any goal, or if there was a formal disciplinary action that was initiated, you can't receive an overall rating of exceeding expectations, okay? That doesn't mean you can't you're going to get meeting expectations regardless, okay? And I'll show you how we put that in place when I show you our scoring configurations. So overall comments, you have added, that's added in there, and then there is a drop down. It's called Custom Boolean 1 to indicate whether or not there is a formal disciplinary action initiated for the employee after a certain date. Now make sure that you change that to reflect the correct date. It will be January 1st, 2021. Actually, it needs to change to be April because our last year's schedule was weird. So April 1st. And they're just going to answer that question yes or no. If they answer it yes, it triggers something in the system, and I will show you what that does in a different tutorial. Make sure that that is required. And again, if they change the policy and they take this out, all the better. But that's where it is for right now. That is only an SHRA. It is not part of the EHRA guidelines. Okay. I think that's all I need to tell you really here in terms of the appraisal form, the supervisor appraisal form. I will update the form. And then you also have EHRA and you have the self-appraisal. I'll show you that really quickly. The self-appraisal is very simple. There are just some, you get your timeline there, you get a little bit of description, and then there's just like custom text. So there's 4 questions that we ask about the previous year and the upcoming year. So those are evaluation detailed 9s and 10s, and you only get 10 builder fields, so we've used them all. And that's not necessarily a reflection on anything that we're doing necessarily. It's just that there are lots and lots of forms that are required per people admin. There are lots of builders that are required per people admin. So if you ever need to add a question, I'm not really sure what you're going to do. You have to take something from somewhere else, but don't try to navigate that on your own. Talk to people admin. So there's that. Those are the 2 questions. Same deal here with your performance management, professional development stuff, except that we added this field. So what would help you in your job next year? What professional development opportunities would help you? You can run a report about that, and that is something your specialist should do. People admin can probably help you generate that report. It doesn't come out looking the greatest, but that's a really great source of data to get information on what it is that people need or want in their job. And I'm not sure if we made that. It is not a required question, so there are some people that don't answer it. Might want to change it to being required. I don't know. I'm not sure. You can decide on that. So I didn't change anything here, so I don't need to update that form. And when you are ready to publish your forms, you just click publish. Okay? So the next tutorial I'm going to show you how to do a process definition, which is really steppy, but I'll show you how to do it.